Kent began their T20 Blast match against Middlesex knowing that a win and results elsewhere mean they could qualify for the quarter-final. Won a toss, opted to bowl, and they got off to a terrific start as Daniel Bell-Drummond took a catch there to get rid of Max Holden. But that brought in 20-year-old Joe Cracknell, playing just his second Blast match. He bludgeoned his way to a very fine 50, reminiscent of Middlesex stalwart Paul Sterling. He went to 50 off just 22 balls. Eventually Grant Stewart picked him up. And then Imran Khayyam got Martin Anderson stumped. But up the other end, Stevie Eskenazi went about his work, leading run scorer for Middlesex in the competition. And he had decent support from John Simpson. That was a valiant effort by Alex Blake. Some thought that he might not have crossed the rope there, but it was awarded 6, and that could come back to haunt the Spitfires. Eskenazi played nicely, and that's how he went, slipping and run out. But in came Luke Holman, 56 on his back, in just his 5th T20 Blast match. He was to produce something a little bit special alongside Simpson, the two left-handers, making hay in the Kent sunshine. Simpson offered one chance on his way to 46. Daniel Bell-Drummond putting it down, attempting to catch goalkeeper style. But Holman, with 2 4s and 2 6s, he went to his score of 46 from just 26 balls and striking a very clean ball. This one taking the backs off one of the green seats. In the end, the bowlers couldn't do, the fielders did. They removed Simpson and Holman. A couple of run-outs right at the end, both men making 46 as Middlesex amassed a pretty competitive looking score at the halfway stage of 184 for 6. Of course, Kent in their midst had Zach Crawley coming off an unbeaten 100 from a couple of days previous at the Ageas Bowl. And Daniel Bell-Drummond has been in good touch as well. So the Kent opening pair, so often to the fore for the home side, but it wasn't to be for Crawley. Just a toe of the bat there, and he was on his way for a single. That brought Joe Denley in. He smashed this 6. But he was quickly on his way. Tim Murtagh from the pavilion end. A little bit of movement down the hill, and Steve Eskenazi with one of 3 catches, and his catches were to prove crucial. Bell-Drummond continued on his merry way as wickets were falling around him. He held the innings together. That was the end of Heino Kuhn, the second catch for Eskenazi. The South African didn't quite hit top gear. He made just 11. Alex Blake solitary 4. Stephen Finn brought himself into the attack. He was to catch the glove as Blake tried the pull shot. Chuck Leaning hit a couple of lovely cover drives for 4. And then he was to hole out off Murtagh, trying to target the short boundary. Doesn't catch that from Nathan Souter. Kent struggling at this stage, 94 for 5. But Bell-Drummond wasn't giving up. It was a terrific shot over extra cover, and with Jordan Cox playing a fine hand, Kent was getting themselves back in it. Cox have been shorter runs in the T20 Blast. He played himself in, put away the reverse sweep, and started to play some cracking cricket shots. 1 straight 6, followed by that hook shot. That from Bell-Drummond was a bit special. Kent started to get themselves in front. Quality shot off helm over short third man. And this off Miguel Cummins meant that suddenly Kent needed 9 off the last over and were favourites. That was the turning point. Stevie Eskenazi getting rid of Bell-Drummond with a diving catch. First ball of the last over. And then Grant Stewart pushing for a second. Good bullet-like throw from Luke Holman from the long-on boundary. That was the end of Stewart, all of which meant that Kent required a boundary to win off the last ball. Matt Milnes didn't pick Tom Helm's slower ball, and Middlesex won by a couple of runs as Kent finished on 182 for 7. A cracking game of cricket, but it is the London side that prevail. And next up for Kent, they entertain Essex at home on Friday night.